Hello, we are about to go on a new adventure. I am Layla and you're watching A Typical Life. So if you are new, I am the mother of 4 beautiful children. A 13-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and an 8-month-old baby. My 8-year-old and 6-year-old have a rare genetic condition called hereditary spastic paraplegia. And this affects, for the most part, just the waist down for them. Nikaila has a couple residual things that have happened with her hands and her brain that have affected her. Ryker doesn't have that so much. But they're having surgery done in their hip area. And I thought I would share that with you today. So when a child learns to walk, they will put their heel down on the ground, and that will put pressure through their leg from their heel up to their knee, from their knee up to their hip. When that happens, here's a picture of a hip. When that happens, from the standing, this bone turns in like this, and a socket is then formed from the pressure, and the head of the hip then goes in, putting it into proper alignment. In my children's case, this didn't happen, or hasn't fully happened. For most kids, this happens by the time they're 5. But for my children, because they don't constantly put pressure on their heel, the head is more like this, and so they're slightly dislocated. This will be a problem. It's a problem now. It affects the way they walk, but it will be more of a problem as an adult because they will have to have major reconstruction surgery, which is a lot more intensive than what they're having. And then also, if it's not corrected, it can cause their hips to pop out of alignment more often and be dislocated, which is excruciating of what I hear. So what they're going to have is hopefully going to fix that so that it won't happen. The problem is their disease is progressive, and so it's kind of a we'll see what will happen. So what are they doing? What they're going to do is they're going to cut tendons that are in this area, and they are going to not cut straight through them, they cut partially through them in order to stretch open that tendon and allow this muscle to release so that their legs could then move out more freely. As of right now, Ryker can't separate his legs fully. We can get him separated about this much. His legs are literally so tight together that he can't separate them. Then also he still tries, he can't walk. Nikaila cannot put, because of this dislocation and stuff, she cannot put any pressure on her legs anymore. Ryker can still kind of walk on his tiptoes, but his knees hit together and they're deformed now, and he can hardly crawl. When he crawls, his legs don't bend, and so he doesn't bend his knees, and because of how tight they are and how tight they cross, so he ends up dragging his legs and just crawling on his hands. So hopefully these will correct that. We don't know for sure. They should still be able to crawl around. That's what they do. It's what they like to do in the house, not outside of the house, but in the house they like to crawl around. But we don't know if this will affect their ability to crawl. So the second surgery, so the first surgery is to cut the tendons. The second surgery is going to look like this. This bone is actually curved the way it's supposed to, but what's going to happen is here is the growth plate. The hope is that when you screw this in here, is it will force, as it grows, naturally, it'll force it down into the proper place, because if they don't have something like this, the head of this will grow up. It'll grow more up and out of socket. So the hope is the socket is, for them, on their x-rays, developed fine. The socket itself is developed really good. The problem is getting this head into the socket. So this is the second surgery that they will have. The things that can go wrong is that doesn't happen, and the screw then has to be removed, and because the head of it grew off of the screw and it just kept growing the way it was going to, then they would definitely have to have a second surgery to pull that out, and possibly then have a reconstructive surgery. Also, because Ryker's really small, they're going to put in a small screw, and if he gets bigger, he can grow off of it, and then in that case they would take it out. But hopefully it will grow the way it's supposed to. The doctor was very clear on letting me know that this will not make him walk. This will not, this might make it easier to walk, but it won't make him walk. And after the fact that I've seen him walk around and try, I think it'll give him a chance to walk a little bit longer. Nikaila, maybe not, because she doesn't bear any weight on her body, on her legs anymore. She might not walk ever again. Ryker still walks on his tiptoes, so hopefully he will be able to still walk maybe a little bit longer. That's the hope. This has had a huge success rate. Of what I've heard so far, the low number of kids that have grown off of the screw, or the screw just didn't work at all, caused other problems. It's a very low percentage, so I'm very hopeful that it will. It's a 4 to 6 week recovery period. For the first 4 weeks, as of right now, as of what the doctor said, the first 4 weeks, Ryker will have, he's the first to have it done, he will have a pillow the shape of a triangle in between his legs, and then that will be strapped to his legs, forcing his legs to stay in a V, because his muscles will be allow him to move like that, and he will have to stay that way for 4 weeks. And that's how I will he will lay down on the couch or the bed. I don't honestly know how that's going to happen, but that's the gist of it. He will lay around for 4 weeks, and then we'll go to our post-op appointment, and then he might move down to where he's only wearing the pillow at night for a couple weeks, and he's then able to put weight on his legs. Hopeful for that. We'll put his shoes on. He wears AFOs that will help stretch the tendon in the back of his leg, hopefully. He should be able to do PT after 5 weeks is what I heard. So the surgery is supposed to last only 3 hours, and then he will be in the hospital for 2 days, or 2 nights is what they said. Hopefully he can come home sooner, depending on how well he's doing. They will have him on a lot of medication to keep him from dealing with the pain, and hopefully allow his body to heal. It's going to be interesting taking him home. He has to borrow a special wheelchair that will keep his legs straight out, and he'll slightly be reclined. Well, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a question down in the comments below. If you are new and want to continue following our journey, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you later. God bless you.